Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at VECHAIN. This is going to be a lower time frame analysis. There is a macro analysis up above, so check that out if that's more what you're interested in. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so in the previous video, we were talking about a couple of potentials here, and one of them was actually looking for that possibility that this could be A, B, and C. So we're talking about potentially looking to turn around from this point because we had already come down here past this one-to-one of this as an A, B, C. Now, it is always possible that we could look to extend further down here, and we're going to go over that count. But what I want to talk about first is this move to the upside. So we can see that we've had quite a strong move to the upside here, but it's not done quite enough to confirm that this is a significant low here. So what we want to see is more along something like these lines, where we want to look at this move as potentially coming in here and actually forming this as 1, 2, this is 1, 2, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into this high. This would be an additional fourth wave here and a fifth wave to the upside. Now, really, until we actually take this fourth wave area here, this move can always look to extend up. So we need to just be cautious of that. Now, the reason why this is slightly less confidence is because if this is actually 1, 2, and this is a fifth wave over here, we didn't reach this 1618. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to happen, but if we do actually break down below this 01642, this would invalidate this potential of this additional fourth and fifth. What we could, however, still argue is that we could have this as 1, 2, 3 into here, 4, and 5. So it is still possible that this could still be either a wave 1 or an A wave up, in which case we'd look for a retracement and then a push to the upside. But the primary way I'm still looking at it is potentially looking for this support range here to come in towards this zone of this 01839 to this 01688. Now, if we fail to hold this higher blue support zone, what I'd be looking out for would be a three-wave move to the downside, in which case this lower region here of this 1657, actually this would be slightly lower, this would be this 1617 to this 01439 would actually be our support zone. We wouldn't want to lose that lower range, and I'd be looking for the potential to actually come back and retest this channel possibly. Would have to see. I do think that we potentially still have this fifth wave to play out here, but that is really valid for as long as we hold above this 1642 level. So now what I want to see here is a three-wave move to the downside. So there's some interesting areas here. This 382 would be quite an interesting zone as looking to swing fail this low here. So if we see something like this, this would be a very common area, in which case we could be looking for this higher target here, which would be this zone here of this 2144 to this 2044 region. Now we do have some target boxes up in this area. This 02011 to this 1994 would be the first one, and within this box effectively what we have is some zones that I'm looking out for. We have a weekly and a daily naked point of control in here, and also looking out for the potential of swing fading these highs over here. Also, we have obviously this channel in this area, so it would be an interesting zone if we do see price push up into these levels. And then slightly above that, we have this area here, which is between this 2103 to this 2059. And within that zone, what we do have is a couple of levels here. And effectively, what we have in here is looking for this as a potential swing failure off this high on the weekly. And then as well as that, within here, we do have some fib levels on the logarithmic and linear scales. So we've got two 50% lines that are sitting in this area. So just another bit of confidence we might actually get a reaction in that zone. So this is looking at this as a five-wave move. So like I said, as long as we hold 01688, I will be looking for that potential to push up here, where we look for this as a five-wave move. And then what we'd want to see is a retracement to the downside. So if we're looking for continuation where this becomes 1, 2 or A, B, we'd be looking to hold this 1454 if we do see a push up into these areas here. Alternatively, if this is just A, we could still come back down, find a support zone here, and then look for that C wave still to the upside, or wave 3, depending on how we want to count this move. But it is still technically possible to see continuation from this point. If we are looking to extend, however, here, until we actually break this low here, we could also argue that within here we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as a diagonal pattern here. Now, if this is the case, effectively what we could be looking for would be coming into this lower range here and looking for this as an A, a B, and a C. So this would be looking at the potential that we have extension here, where this is going to be A, B, C. We come down into these lows towards this 1801. That would be 1 to 1 of this of this A wave to the downside here, A, B, C. Now, if we do look to actually break down below this and we lose this 1771, it would be more likely that we're looking at that other alternative where we're either looking to break down in a bigger way, particularly if we hit this 1618 here. This would not be good for looking for this extension, because this would be indicating this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in which case we'd be looking for another 3-wave move and a 5-wave down, which would be looking potentially to push down deeper into that target box area. If we are looking at this as a 4th wave, it would be more likely then we're going to challenge out this 1688. It's going to be a very common area, 50%. If we are looking at this as a zigzag to the downside, would be very interesting. Alternatively, we'd be looking for a move down into this lower target box. So that is, what can happen if we lose this. This is just an alternative count here where I'm looking for the potential to extend out. If we do see something like this, where we manage to hold this 1771, we find support here in this 1801 to this 1850 area. Potentially we could see price look to push to the upside here in a third, in which case our 3rd wave target would actually be this zone here, this 02164 to this 0241 area. And this would be looking for the possibility of this actually completing a bigger 5th wave higher up here. So the actual target for that 5th wave would actually be slightly higher than what I said. So it would be here towards this 2244 to this 2194 range. So that would be what we'd be looking for if this is extending out in that way. Now, the thing is, if we do have an extension in that way here, we'd have to be mindful that it could be that this is 1, 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is a 5th wave that's extended. Then we'd still be potentially looking for a 4th and a 5th. So this is looking for, that possibility of having a direct breakout here where we actually see a bigger 5-wave move to the upside looking to develop. Now, there is also the possibility, like I said previously, that what we could have here is that this could actually just be completed here as an A wave, and what we're looking for is the potential to come down in 3 waves, looking for this lower range here of this 50% typically is going to be our zone. Our minimum requirement would be looking for would be this 382, but typically speaking, we're looking for this 50% to the 786. So depending on how long this actually takes to develop, it could be quite interesting to see how we align with this center of this channel line here. If we do find support here and we look to reverse to the upside, possibly we would then be looking for that B wave to come into that position. Though we need to also just be aware, 786, once we start to lose this level, particularly if we're going to get a 5-wave move down and a 3-wave move up and another 5-wave move down, once we start to lose 786, it becomes more likely this is actually going to become a bigger breakdown, because it starts getting very close to that 1.618 most of the time. Now, if we do look at this in this way, where we're saying this is A, this is B, and then we're looking for a C to the upside, 121 would actually look to bring us up here towards this 2322, and that would actually be aligning with our higher time frame center channel. Now, if we are looking at that, that would be looking to bring us into that channel, and then we could look for the potential of a break to the downside. Alternatively, if we move up towards this 02991, this would give us a trending move to the upside. So I just want to talk about what these could be effectively. So if we are looking at that corrective move as a ABC to the upside, this would tie into the idea that what we are looking for here is this is an A wave, looking for an A, B, and a C, which is looking to actually target out this area of the 0289 to this lower range here, which we've already hit. So we've already come into this, so we need to just be careful. But this 786 would start to be very interesting to me, just because of the fact that it's aligning quite nicely with this 121. Obviously, depending on how deep this B wave goes, this will adjust these targets, but this is effectively what we're looking for on the bigger picture here if we're looking for that downside. Now, the way that we are looking for a bigger move to the upside here, so either as this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or alternatively the other way that we discussed, where we're looking for this as a bigger 5-wave move, then coming down and then looking to push to the upside, is actually because of the fact that we are looking for a bigger flat correction here. And what we'd be talking about is effectively that this all would be an A wave here. We'd have a B wave to the downside, and then now we'd be looking for that potential of a C wave to the upside. So if we do look at this as a 5-wave move, what we'd want to see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, 3 waves back down, finding support above the low, then seeing a 3rd, 4th, and a 5th. Now, the common zone that we typically look for with a flat correction is these 1618, which is at the 2891, the 1382 at the 2578, and the 204 is the 1236. Now 121 is also a target here, but if we see something like this 1 2 3 4 5 and moves into this zone, I wouldn't be expecting this to be a C wave. If that's the case, it would be more likely that either this is wave 1 or an A wave, and then we're going to see another leg to this. Now, if this does develop as 1, 2, and then we see a bigger 3, 4, and a 5, and we actually look to come back up into the higher end of this channel, it would be quite an interesting zone, because this would actually align with the 2.618 of this as a wave A. Now, this would also look to bring us back up here into this potentially into this 382 level, but I would be also keeping an eye on this 236 level here at the 03696, and that could be a potential target area if this is going to develop as a flat correction, and we're going to see this bigger move to the upside actually looking to take place here. So just need to keep an eye on it. As long as we hold this low here, we can look for potential bullish structure, but really I want to see two things happen here. I'd like to see another fourth and a fifth. Then I'd like to see 3 waves down. I want to hold this low, and I want to see us break out of this descending channel that we're in. As long as we're within this channel, we need to be careful that we don't have something going on like this, where this is W, X, Y, X, and then we get another 3 wave move to the downside in a Y wave. So it's not my primary expectation, but we need to just be careful that that can happen. If we fail to find support here and we look to break down, then that would be my next interpretation of this. Would be something along those lines, where we're actually looking at this as a W, X, Y, X, and a Z. But you know, we haven't actually started to do that yet. So I'm looking out for this potential of continuation up for as long as we hold those lows, like I said. So we're going to go over the CPR here. Now on the daily, we can see that we actually found support on these central lines. We came up and we hit this R2 line, and now we're starting to reject. If we continue to hold these central lines as support, potentially we could see price move back up to one of these higher levels again. Now we have the S3 up here at this 2027, the S4 up here towards this 2060, and these would align with that idea of coming back into our target boxes that we discussed earlier. Alternatively, if we start to break down now, we do have an R1 which is sitting here towards this 01836. I would be interested to see how we react there. If we break down deeper, we have the 0173, the 1739, and this area here, this 1677. So these lower target areas here would align with the idea of actually having this as either a fourth wave here, where we're looking to come back down into these lower target areas, looking for potentially coming into this 382 would be an interesting zone to keep an eye on. And then we do also have this 50%, which could potentially offer us support if we do look to actually break down today. These will get new lines printed tomorrow, so these won't be the same tomorrow. Now, if we come over here onto the weekly, what we can see is that right in this zone where we're looking for this fourth wave target box, we have weekly CPRs. The central lines are sitting here currently. So if we do see price actually look to break down here in a bigger way, I'd be interested to see if we maintain these central lines. So if we do actually manage to hold this zone as a support zone, what we could see is price could be gravitated towards this S1 line, which is sitting at this 02057. We have the S2 line here at this 2274, and the S3 line up here towards this 2571. So those would be potential upside targets. Now this one would be particularly interesting to me, this 2260, because this would be aligning with the idea of coming back into this fifth wave target box. So if we see 3 waves moves down, you know, we hold support in this central area here. Potentially we could still look for that possibility of that fifth wave to the upside, looking to hit that target. Alternatively, if we do start to break down in a bigger way, we do have this R1 line which is sitting in our support zone, but then if we do look to break down below this invalidation line, we have this 1247 which could align with coming back into the channel, and then we have this area down here towards this 01027. So that would be looking at some downside targets. Now coming into the monthly, what we can see is that we are just below these central CPR lines here. Now, we are currently above the R1 line. We have met the targets to the downside for this month, but what we can still see is price could still look to move up into these, reject, and then look to move back down to some of these lower levels. So if we do actually see price move up here one more time. I'd be very interested to see how we react between this zone of around this 2044 and this 2032. Potentially we could find resistance in this zone. Alternatively, if we do look at this idea of coming down for a fourth and a fifth, this could align with that once again coming up here for this fifth wave. If however we do start to break through this zone and we start to get support to these, price could actually be gravitated towards this S1 line at this 22.24, the S2 line at this 24.16, and the S3 line here towards this 26.03 level. So these are just some extra bits of confluence that we use when we are doing the charting, just to give us some alternate price levels. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.